Hi everyone, it's Hannah from Handmade Crochet, and today we are making the Starlight Stocking together. Now this is an overlay mosaic crochet technique that I have used throughout the latter part of this year, and I have used it so far on sweaters and accessories, and I thought let's do some Christmassy stuff too. So it's a super easy construction. We work from the toe upwards and we add the heel afterwards. It's worked in worsted weight yarn or doubled up DK yarn. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. So it's super quick and easy to make. Now I've chosen to use Mary Maxim's Starlette, which is a worsted weight yarn for this, and this is the shade Cottonwood, and you can either use a contrasting colour that I've done here, which is the russet, or as I'm going to show you how to do today, you can use a contrast yarn, but one that is a variegated changing yarn. So this is Prism, and it's Prism DK, so it's on the lighter side of a DK yarn, a category 3 weight yarn. So what I found is that holding this doubled up makes the same gauge and thickness as this worsted weight yarn. They work really nicely together, and the thing about this is, you know, it doesn't really matter all that much for the gauge of a stocking, so don't worry. If you want to experiment with different yarns together and all that kind of stuff, then this is the kind of project to do that with. Along with your yarn, you're going to need a pair of scissors, a needle and a stitch marker, and then you'll need 2 different sizes of hooks. So I have used a 5.5mm crochet hook for the everything apart from the cuff basically. So everything up to the cuff, and then I went down to a 5mm hook for working in the cuff. Now you'll see from the different versions that I have made that you can do the toes and the heels and the cuffs in either of the colours. Now that will obviously affect the amount of yarn that you use of each, but I will put all the information in the description below about how much you will need of each of those. So go grab all of your supplies, the pattern, and then come back to me and we'll start making. So to begin our stockings, we're going to create a magic ring. So there's lots of ways of doing it, but this is my preferred method. I've that doesn't make sense. I've put the yarn around my fingers twice, and then you go under that first one, grab that second one, and pull it round, and that creates us a magic ring to work in. Now I'm going to chain 1. My fingers aren't warm enough today. There we go. Chain 1, and then into that magic ring I'm going to work 8 single crochet stitches. So there's 1, that's 2. Now that is round 1 complete, and we can pull our magic ring just a little tighter, ready to start round 2. And now for the whole of the toe, we are going to work into the back loop only of all these stitches, and we're also going to work in continuous rounds. So that means that we don't slip stitch to join, we just carry on working, which is why it's very crucial to have a stitch marker ready with you. So now into the back loop only of that first stitch, I'm going to work 2 single crochet stitches, and once I have done that, I am then going to pop my stitch marker into that first one. Here we go, so that we don't lose our spot. And then for round 2, we're going to continue working 2 single crochet into the back loop only of each of our stitches around. So that's 1 and that's 2. Go again, we have 1 and 2, all the way around until you meet back to your stitch marker. And we began with 8 stitches, and we're increasing, we're doing 2 in each, so at the end of this round we'll have 16 stitches. Okay, so we're back at the beginning again there. And now for the next round, we're not going to increase, we're just going to work a single crochet in the back loop only of all of our stitches. So that's that first one, and then I'll pop one into the next one. Then I will move my stitch marker. I always like doing more than 1 stitch before I move my stitch marker, because sometimes it unravels on you and then you never know where you are. So that's 2 that we've done there, and then 1 in the back loop only of each of these stitches around. So our stitch count will remain the same for this round 3. And there we have round 3. Now for round 4, we're going to increase again, And what we're going to do is in that first stitch we're going to work 2 single crochet, so all in the back loop only still, and then in the next stitch we just work 1. Now I'm going to move my stitch marker before we keep going, and we're ready to set off again. We're going to work 2 single crochet in the back loop of the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next. Keep repeating that all the way around. So 2 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next. Now here we are back at the start again, and the next round we're not going to do any increases, we're just going to work a single crochet into the back loop only of each of our stitches. Just remember to move that stitch marker when you're ready to, so that we know where our first one is. And as I say, a single crochet in the back loop only of each of our stitches here. Now we're back at the start and we're ready to work our next increase. So I'm going to work 2 single crochet into the back loop of that first stitch, and then a single crochet into the next 1, and then 2 stitches. So that becomes the repeat for our round. Move that stitch marker through to the first stitch that we have there, and we're ready to go again. So we go 2 single crochet into the next stitch for our increase, and then a single crochet in the next 1 and 2, 2 single crochet in the next, and then a single crochet in the next 1 and 2. So go ahead and work that all the way around. Then when we completed that round, we're ready to work a straight round, so no increases here in our next one, just a single crochet in the back loop only of each of our stitches around. So your stitch count will remain the same here, just working a single crochet in each of the back loops here. So now we're ready for our next increase round, and you've probably guessed it, we're going to single crochet 2 into the back loop of that first stitch, and then we're going to go into 1, 2 and 3 stitches. So the back loop again is 1, 2 and 3. Then move that stitch marker before we go any further. And then this round is that again. To increase, we work 2 single crochet into the back loop of, oops, she says, the next one, and then a single crochet in the back loop of the next 3. So work ahead and complete this round. And then we're almost there for the end of the toe. We're just ready to work one of our straight rounds. So a single crochet in the back loop only of each, all the way around. And now for our final increase round of this toe, we're going to work 2 single crochet in the back loop of this next stitch, and then a single crochet in 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's now our repeat for this final round of the toe. We're going to work 2 single crochet in the back loop of the next, and then just 1 single crochet in the back loop of 4. So work around with that, and then meet me back here with your contrast colour if you would like to switch, ready to start working the foot. Now that we've completed the toe, we can start working the foot, and this is where we start our overlay mosaic crochet technique, and I will go through that in a moment. Don't worry, whether you want to follow the written pattern or whether you've got the PDF and you prefer to follow the chart, I'll go through both of those with you. But what I will say now is that if you would like to have your contrast with your toe and then the background of the mosaic, then this is the point where you need to change your yarn colour. And as I said, I'm using 2 strands of this prism to make the thickness that I need here. And the important thing with this prism is that you make sure that you're at the same part of the sequence in either of your balls here. So we're going to carry on doing just what we've been doing before. So I'm going to go straight into that stitch there, and I'm going to work my first single crochet in that colour there, and then into the back loop only of the next one, and then I am going to move my stitch marker Don't lose your place, Hannah. So at this point we will have 48 stitches per round, and that's our stitch count now for the rest of the stocking. So this first round we are going to single crochet in the back loop only of each, and you've noticed that I've left my other yarn there at the beginning, so I'm going to be able to switch between my yarn A and my yarn B as I go. So this darker colour now I'm calling my yarn A, and this lighter colour I'm calling my yarn B. So I'm working a single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch in my yarn A. And so the difference now when we get back to the beginning there is that we're actually going to now start slip stitching into that first stitch to join our rounds. For the overlay mosaic sections, we're going to slip stitch here into that first stitch. We're going to join our yarn ready to work the next round, and I'm going to chain one, and then the next round I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of each of the stitches. So just as we were before, but the difference is that we have joined that round to start us off, and there's a good reason for that you'll see in a minute. So just work away in your yarn B into the back loop only of each of your stitches. And then when you've got to the end of this round, we're going to slip stitch into the back loop of that first stitch and change our yarn colour. And then in the written pattern, you'll see that it starts talking about mosaic double crochet stitches. And if you've chosen to use the charts for this, you'll see that you've got X's in boxes and all sorts. So come back to me when you're ready to do that, and we'll go through how we do mosaic double crochets. Here we are then. I'm going to grab my yarn A, and I'm going to go into the back loop only of that first stitch. I'm going to pull it through and then tug tightly on the yarn that you're using, and then chain one, and then you're ready for round 3. Now here's a part of the mosaic crochet chart just so that I can show you, if you're using that, how they work. Now we've got all the round numbers that are going up here. So this is the foot section. The leg section has a separate chart, but it's very, very similar. So each of our round numbers are going up here. And then this section here tells us what colour we need to use for that round. We only use one colour per round, so no need to worry about getting in a tangle. And then each of these along the bottom is the stitch multiple. So we've got 48 stitches, and that divides into 8. So 8 stitches and 8 stitches, etc, etc. We need to do this 6 times in order to get our way around the stocking. And so you'll see for round 1 we used colour A, and there were all blank boxes. Each of these boxes represents 1 stitch, and so because they're all blank boxes, that means we need a single crochet in the back loop only, which we did. And then for round 2 we worked in colour B, and all of these are blank boxes in that they don't have an X in the box. So we did a single crochet in the back loop of each of those. And now you'll see they're in different colours, but at the moment the colours don't matter. The colours don't actually tell you anything about where to put the stitches and what to do. That tells you what it will look like when you've put your mosaic double crochets in the right place. So that will become clear as we then work round 3. So I've got my yarn A attached. We're on round 3, and we have an empty box, which means we do a single crochet in the back loop only, and then we have 1, 2 and 3 boxes with X's, so they need a mosaic double crochet in them, and then we do that again. We've got a blank box ready for a single crochet in the back loop, and then 1, 2 and 3 boxes with X's for our mosaic double crochet. And if you're working from the written pattern, it will literally just say what it oh, I've dropped something, sorry. What it says on the tin there of, it will go single crochet in the back loop only of 1, and then it will say mosaic double crochet in the next 3. And so what a mosaic double crochet does is it goes over the top of the round below, and then it works into the front loop of the round below that. So 2 rounds below we're going to work a double crochet stitch basically, and by working across the front of that it turns it into a mosaic double crochet, and that's all there is to it. The only 2 stitch options we have from now on are these 2 stitches, so a single crochet in the back loop or a mosaic double crochet. So we need another mosaic double crochet in the next stitch, So that goes down into this front loop here, which happily is always going to be in the same colour you're working with. And then one into the next one. And that's all we need to do all the way around this round. Single crochet in the back loop only of the next, and then a mosaic double crochet in the next 3. Now, get yourself plenty of slack on your yarn, because if you're wound up too tightly like I was there, you'll end up splitting and then only catching one. So that's my top tip. Make sure you've got plenty of slack off of your yarn ball. There's 2, and this is going to be, I promise, 3. So just work that all the way around. That's our repeat for round 3. So then at the end of that round, I'm going to slip stitch into the back loop only of that first stitch and change my yarn colour when I can grab it. Here we go. So yarn over and pull through, and then pull down tight on that other yarn, chain 1, and we're ready to work round 4. Now let's have a look at the charts. Round 4, we can see that we're working in colour B, which we have already got, and we have blank boxes for 1, 2, 3 and 4, then a mosaic double crochet, and then 1, 2, 3 more blank boxes. So we need to do 4 single crochet in the back loop, 1 mosaic double crochet, and then 1, 2, 3 single crochet in the back loop. So that looks like this. We're going to single crochet in the back loop of 4, and now we're ready to work a mosaic double crochet, and we're going to go down 2 rounds below into the front loop only of that same colour that we have there, and then we're going to single crochet in the back loop of 3. And that's our repeat for this round. So we're going to single crochet in the back loop of 4, and then mosaic double crochet in the next, and then mosaic double crochet in the next, and then single crochet in the back loop of 3. So work your way around doing that repeat, and then when you get back to the beginning, you're going to slip stitch into the back loop of the first one and change your yarn colour. So now I've joined and I'm ready to work round 5, and round 5 is in A, and we have a blank box for a single crochet in the back loop, and then 2 mosaic double crochet, 3 blank boxes for 3 single crochet, and then 2 mosaic double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 2 is our repeat for this round. So let's just go over that together. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the back loop only, then we're going to do 2 mosaic double crochet. So that's 1, and there's nearly not enough slack, Hannah. There's 2, then a single crochet in the back loop of 3, and then mosaic double crochet in the next 2. 1, and not enough slack, Hannah. I should listen to my own advice, shouldn't I, really? There we go. So that then is our repeat for this round. And I hope you can see now that this is actually a really simple technique. As long as you follow the written pattern or the chart for where to put either of those stitches, so either the single crochet in the back loop or the mosaic double crochet, then you can work all of this pattern without any trouble now. And you'll see in the pattern, the written or the charts, it goes up to round 21 for the foot. So you just need to keep following that up until the foot is complete. And then when you've got to the end of round 21, come back to me and I will show you how we split for the heel, which is nowhere near as scary as it sounds. And then we will make that space and we will carry on to do the leg and finish the stocking. So here I have worked all of the foot section, and now I've joined to work the next round, which is going to be for the leg. And what we now need to do is create a space that we're going to leave open to then work the heel into when we have finished. And the way that we do that is we're going to work some foundation single crochet stitches. We're going to do 20 of them, and they then will create this space, and then we'll carry on and join. It's a bit like splitting for a sleeve on a sweater, really. We will join back and we will then work them. Now, I'll stop waffling and I'll actually show you what it looks like. So for our stocking, we are going to foundation single crochet 20. So to do that, we chain 2 to begin with. And then in the second chain from the hook, I like to go into this back bump here. We're going to go through the whole of the bit of yarn, Hannah, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through. And then the difference here is, whereas with a normal single crochet you'd yarn over and pull through both, we're actually going to yarn over and pull through just one in order to create a chain for us. And that chain is what we're now going to work into for the next stitch. But before we do that, we're going to yarn over and complete this stitch. So that's one foundation single crochet stitch made. And that chain that we have there, that's where we're going to put the hook in order to make our next one. So we yarn over, we make sure we've got both parts of the stitch there, the chain, yarn over and pull through. And then we yarn over and pull through one to make our next chain. And then we yarn over and pull through 2, and that's our second stitch. So we have 1 and 2 there now. And for each stocking we're going to do 20 of those. So there's number 3. So you carry on and do your 20, and I will too, and then meet me back and we will join it to the other side. Right, so once you've got your 20 stitches, we're then going to skip the next 20 stitches along here of our last round. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work a single crochet in the back loop only. And we are then ready to start carrying on. Now for this one, we are going to work a single crochet in the back loop only of the remaining stitches. So that will be 28 stitches because we want our count to remain the same. So 28 plus the 20 gives us our 48 stitches that we've had all along. So work around up until you get back to the start again, and then we're going to join in exactly the same way. We're going to slip stitch into the back loop only of that first stitch, and we're going to change our yarn colour. And if you're reading the pattern or reading the charts, you'll see that we then just carry on, but I will do the next round with you just to show you where our stitches go if we need to do a mosaic stitch on the next one. Right, so I'm here and ready joined to do round 23, and the first stitch of this round is a single crochet in the back loop only, and then it tells us that we need to do a mosaic double crochet in the next stitch. Now of course normally that would go down 2 rounds below, but we need to leave this space for the heel to go. So in this instance we're going to go down into the chain stitch that we've done there of the foundation stitch. So we're going to go into that foundation stitch chain there, and that's where our mosaic double crochet goes, she says. There we go. And we need to do 3 of those for this round's repeat. And then once you've done those 3, we go back to working a single crochet in the back loop only of the stitch. So for these 20 stitches, we just change slightly where we position those mosaic double crochet stitches. So just work 1, 2, and then 3. And then repeat that all the way around, and then when you get to where it rejoins again, you can then work down into the 2 rounds below. So it's just for where we've got this 20 foundation single crochet stitches that you work down into the chain of it. Then when you get back to where we're joined, you can work into the 2 rounds below. And that is all there is to it for the splitting of the heel. You need to carry on working all of the rounds all the way up to the top of the leg of the stocking now. And then when you get to the end of that, either reading the written pattern or the chart, we can then put the cuff on. So come back to me with your smaller hook at hand and the colour that you want to add the cuff of the stocking in, and we will do that. Right, so here we are. I've got to the ends of the leg and I've broken my yarn here because I'm going to change to my other yarn colour that I'm using. And for this last stitch, I'm going to go into the full part of the stitch to join that yarn, ready to work the cuff. And the other thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to chain one to start with, just so I don't lose that, is change my hook size. I'm going to go down to a 5mm crochet hook for me, so that I can make this cuff just a bit firmer and tighter at the top for it to turn over. And now the cuff, we're going to work as a join as you go cuff, I can't say it, a join as you go cuff that then comes back to the last round of stitches each time we work a row of it. So this will make lots of sense. If you've ever done a sleeve cuff like this, then you'll know what I'm talking about. We're going to chain a certain amount, and this can be as many or as few as you like, but in the pattern I've suggested that we chain 21 at this point. So I've done one already, so this is 2. Then when you've got the length of chain that you need, we're going to start working back along it. So in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to go into that back bump there, and I'm going to work a single crochet stitch in it. And then I'm going to work a single crochet in each of the back bumps all the way down to the end now. So that will be 20 stitches for me, but it could be a different number for you depending on the size that you've chosen to make your cuff. Now once we've done all of those stitches, we are back here and we're joined to this first stitch, and what we now need to do is slip stitch into the next stitch along. And this first time we arrive back at this round, we're just going to do it into one stitch. And then we turn, and now we're going to work into the back loop only of all of these stitches. So our 20 stitches we have here, we're going to work a single crochet in the back loop only of each of those. So our stitch count will remain the same, 20 stitches for each of these rows. And then as an option for this last stitch, you can either go through the whole part of the stitch or the back loop, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go through the whole of the stitch there, and it just helps to tighten down the end of the cuff there. Then when we've done that, we're going to turn and chain one, and then we're going to work a single crochet in the back loop only of each of our stitches again. So now we're back to this final round again, and this time we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches that we have here. So there's 1 and that's 2. And so each time we now return, we're going to do 2 slip stitches there. So now we turn and we're going to work a single crochet in the back loop only of each. And that's all there is to it. We're going to carry on working like this, and each time you get back to that final round here, you're going to slip stitch in 2, and that will work all the way around until you get back to where you began. And then when you do that, come back to me and I'll just show you how we easily seam up this, and then it becomes the turnover cuff that we need. So I've worked that cuff all the way around, and now I'm back to the beginning again. And all I now need to do is join this first row to the last row that we made. And I'm going to do that with a slip stitch seam. So I'll just go into one of those loops there, and then into the first stitch there. That's my dog patting around, sorry. And then the next stitch and the next stitch, we'll just line them up and join them up with a slip stitch. Now we're going to fold the cuff over, so it doesn't matter that you can see this seam here. You won't see it once we fold this cuff over. So then once you've joined all of those stitches together, you can break your yarn and then weave in that tail. Now our final task is to add this heel in here, and I've gone back up to my larger hook, so the one that I used for the toe and the foot and the leg, and I'm going to flip it over so that we have the back of our stocking facing us. We're going to join into the first stitch that we have here, and I'm going to chain one just to start myself off, and we're going to work into the back loop only still throughout all of this heel, and we're going to single crochet 2 together to start with. So we're going to start a single crochet in this stitch, and then we're going to go into the next stitch and start a single crochet in there, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Then what we're going to do is single crochet in the back loop of the next 16. Then we need to single crochet 2 together again. So start our first one in there and then start the next one in there, yarn over and pull through. Now what we need to do is start working along the other 20 stitches that we have here to then start closing the space. So we're going to single crochet 2 together to begin with. So there's the back loop of that one and the back loop of the next. And then we'll single crochet in 16. And now we finish up by single crochet 2 together. And that's our round 1 complete. Now we're going to work in continuous rounds again now. And so we're going to go straight into the back loop only of that next one. And for round 2, it's very, very similar. We're just going to start by single crochet 2 together. So then I'm going to pop my stitch marker in so I don't lose where I am. Then we're going to single crochet in the back loop of 14. Then we single crochet 2 together. And now we just need to repeat what we've just done there, working around on this other side. So single crochet 2 together. Whoops. And then single crochet in 14. And then we finish by single crocheting 2 together. Now for round 3, it's going to be really similar. We're going to single crochet 2 together in these first 2 stitches. Move that stitch marker, and then you may have guessed it already, there is a pattern forming here. We're going to then single crochet in the back loop only of 12. So each round we decrease the number in between our single crochet two togethers. That didn't come out right, did it? To be 2 less than it was before. So the first round was 16, then 14, and now we have 12. Then we single crochet 2 together. Then we swivel around so that we can repeat the exact same thing. So single crochet 2 together, then single crochet in 12, and then single crochet 2 together. And we just keep working around in this way. We're going to do 10 in the next one, and then we're going to do 8, and then we're going to do 6 single crochets in between. So carry on working in this pattern until we have the 6 single crochets in between, and that will be 6 rounds that you will then have worked. So now I've completed those rounds and I've broken my yarn, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first one to join and pull through. And now to weave in this end, I am going to turn my stocking inside out so that I can get to the inside of it, taking that yarn tail with me. And then I'm just going to line up those stitches and then sew them together here. Then we just secure that end to finish. And with that, our stocking is complete. Thank you so much for joining me to make this Starlight crochet stocking. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I really love how they look and how eye-catching they are. They truly would be unique, and they make wonderful gifts or just wonderful presents to yourself. So do come and find me on social media. I'm Hand Crochet, all the places you'd expect me to be. Come and show me your Starlight stockings, and I'll see you again soon.